Hello there, greetings. Welcome here to Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So today is the last day of the month, so that means it's time for the show that I do once a month, which is new albums that I've purchased or album hauls if you prefer. We're going to make a couple of slight changes here. First of all, I normally do show you what I've listened to, and if I've listened to it first, and then I'll show you what's inside and stuff. And anything that hasn't been opened, I usually leave it and just show you the album cover. Well, we're going to change that up because I think people, if they're going to watch this and see what's new, they want to see what's new, all of it, not just the sleeves. I don't know why it's taken me so long to get that through my head, but some, as they say, better late than never. So we're going to start, and I'm going to do this in the way I normally do as far as the other parts go, which is I will start with one type of genre and work my way through to the prog music at the bottom. Actually, I think I usually start with the prog, but for today we're going to start with the pop stuff. So I had been looking to get all of these albums by this band as part of a package, but I wasn't able to find one that really was what I wanted for the price I wanted. So I saw this and decided I'm going to get this one anyways. If I still get that set, I'll be happy anyways. So the album, this one is, of course, The Cars. And this, I believe this their debut album? For some reason I thought it was Candy-O, but it isn't Candy-O. I'm pretty sure this is their debut album. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but let's see what it says here. So basically it comes with a little book. And you've got your classic picture on there, picture of all the people on the back as well, so I show you as much as I can. Benjamin Orr and Rick Ocasek and all the boys, and a few girls in there as well. And then it's got a little book, tracks and some of the songs and the people playing in the band, of course. Here's a nice shot of the whole band. Rick Ocasek, Benjamin Orr, and the other three guys, which David Robinson, Elliot Easton, and Greg Hawkes. Sorry. It's been a while since I listened to these guys, like quite a bit of a while. I'm pretty sure I saw them live too. I just can't remember the venue. Anyways, so that's this album, and I believe this is their debut from '78. I don't know why. I thought I had bought Candy-O, but clearly I didn't. So anyways, although this could be, let me see. No, this is not Candy-O. I don't know what I was thinking. Anyways, I like all of their stuff. Makes no difference to me which one I get. They're all good. I wanted, like I said, I originally wanted to purchase the entire set at once, but I wasn't able to find anything that really suited what I was looking for a price that I thought was reasonable. So I saw this for $6. I said, well, I can get it now, and if I get the set, then I'll have it twice. Not a big deal. So The Cars. The next one out I was quite happy to get. Was surprised that it was there because it wasn't there last week. We'll be opening this one too, so you can see it. So this is the third album in the last month or so that I've bought. Oh, last month and a half, I think, because last month I had the Peter Criss one, and the one before I got another copy of the Ace Frehley album. My goal is to collect all four again, since I won't be getting back the ones that I loaned out, more than likely. So we're going to open it now. This will be a first for me. I guess I should have brought something to open it with. But nevertheless, I'm sure this will work out just fine. So this is Paul Stanley. This is one of the 4 solo albums that they released September the 18th, 1978, as a collection of Kiss albums. I think they're the only band to do such a thing, but I'm sure if I'm wrong, somebody will correct me. So this has 9 tracks on it. I've always thought of this as being the second best of the 4. Nothing's changed really to make me think that. Oh, I think I might have cracked it slightly when I did that too. Yeah, probably did. Anyways, the artwork on these are all really good. They did an excellent job of making this very appealing looking. And this one has a lot of really good songs on it. I don't think this rivals Ace's album at all, but Of the remaining three, I think it's easily the best one because Paul is just, overall, even though Peter Criss has that special voice, I think Paul overall has the best rock voice of them all, and definitely a great sounding voice in this time period. And this, of course, featured production by Jeff Glicksman as well. So we're going to just open it a bit. It's got the typical purple color that Paul chose as his color for his album. Now, I'm not sure if they were assigned colors because Ace ended up with a blue one. Gene a red. Red seems to suit him. So here's a picture of all four of the albums, three of which I now possess again. The only one missing in my collection is Gene's, although I did originally have them all on vinyl and I had them all on CD at one point. And then you got this kind of acid rock looking picture on the inside of Paul. All four of them have something like that in there. Yeah. And then, of course, you got all the information on each of the songs. You've got your recording information. Does it give a list? Sorry, I dropped her here. I wonder if it gives a list of who played on the album. I'm sure it does. Oh, yeah, it does here. There's quite a few people on this album, quite a lot. Anyways, this is an excellent album. Like I said, there's at least half the songs on here I think are really good, and the other half, not so bad. I don't think there's really any bad tracks on the album. Yeah, I've never thought of this album as having any really bad ones on it. Mostly all good stuff. If not for the Ace album, I think this would have easily been the best of the four. Next up, we have an album that I never really cared for much, but being the kind of person that I am, I like to have all of the albums by certain bands. And I guess this is as good a time as any to announce that this band, Pink Floyd, and this album, Pink Floyd, The Final Cut, this band is now going to be part of my group. So I had a group of 7 when I started this channel, and then I expanded it by adding Peter Gabriel about a year or so ago to make it a group of 8. And now we're going to expand it again and add Pink Floyd to that list. So Pink Floyd will now make it the group of 9. As some of you may have remembered, I did say I would like to get it to 35, but realistically, maybe 10 or 12 might be a reasonable goal to go for, but now it's a group of 9, Pink Floyd added. So the reason I told you this was because I tend to want to have everything by those groups. Everything, and so even though I may not necessarily like the album, it's got to be part of that. So maybe this will grow on me as well, because most of this stuff was made during the Wall album, which wasn't really one of my favorite albums, but that has kind of broke the barrier a bit and come off that phrase that I used to use, which I don't like that album, but now I don't have that. I can't say that anymore because I do like that album. I just don't love it. I'm hoping the same thing will happen here. And this, of course, we all know is the last album to feature Roger Waters. And it's got 12 tracks on it, but I don't know, is that the original amount that was on here? Let us take it out and find out. So yeah, on the inside you have all of the songs list as you normally get when you're looking at these things. On the back you got a list of the tracks as well. I'm looking to see if it does say the people on the album. Performed by Pink Floyd, David Gilmour, Nick Mason, Roger Waters, with Michael Carmen on piano and harpsichord. So yes, I wasn't sure, but I had a feeling that Richard Wright was not on this album, and I don't believe he was. And you got this nice little kind of... I've never had a problem with the cover or even on the inside cover. I've never had a problem with that. I just found this album was more of the stuff that I didn't like on the Wall, but this wasn't as good as the stuff on that. So, but I'm hoping to change my mind. I have listened to this album in its entirety once before. Wasn't very impressed with it, but Now that I own it, maybe playing it while I'm doing stuff will give me a chance to maybe appreciate it more. Now, I know some people absolutely love this album, but there's just as many that do not like it at all. So that's Pink Floyd's The Final Cut. Now we have two from this next band. One of them I've already showed you as one of the albums I chose for my top 10 first half of the year albums released in 2024. So we've got this one, Hawkwind, Stories from the Time and Space. We're going to open her up here now. Well, we're going to take this plastic off and see what we get. It's nothing like owning something brand new, eh? Because you know what? If there's any problems with it, who do you got to blame for that? So look at that. Like, that's spectacular. I'm sorry, but that should be on the cover, not this thing. I mean, not that that's bad. That's not bad, necessarily bad, but I think this would look a lot better with that spaceship in there. It's got the one CD, of course. I believe there may be a book of some kind in this as well, for those of you who are always wondering what you're getting when you buy. So, yeah, on the back here it tells you all the production stuff, the tracks, the organizations that they're a part of, Hawkwind's official sites, and then the people that are playing on the album, which features David Brock, Magnus Martin, Thypolia Sandra, Doug McKinnon, Richard Chadwick, of course, because he's been with them for a long time now, and Michael Sosna on sax on one track. So yeah, nice little book on the inside, list of all the tracks, quite a few on this. I would be not surprised if this album is at least an hour. Look at that. That's spectacular, isn't it? I like that one with the mushroom on the hill there, with the spaceship landing on the hill. That could have been a cover. Any of these could have been a better cover, I think. That is absolutely spectacular, though. And then look at this. This is amazing, too. Like, why did they have to put that funny time and space thing on? So many of these inside stuff is so much better. Look at that. That's killer as well. So you wonder what goes through their minds when they do stuff. However, it's their album, and they made it, and they could do whatever they want. The good part is that the music on this is quite good. I do like it a lot. Made my top 10 so far, so hopefully it'll get a lot more airplay now that it's new. And with new albums, for me, they go to the top of my list of albums to go into my playset. So this won't be too long in the distant future. It'll be on the playlist. I'm almost sure of it. The other one I got was this Hawkwind album, which is In Search of Space. This is a good album. I've heard this before. I do like it. When was this released? In 96. So this one is a good 28 years ago already. And yet, by that time, they were already 26 years old. They've been around for a while. So we're going to open it now. Yeah, look at that. I'm getting lucky with the thumbnail here. So here we go. Yep, I believe this, don't quote me on this, but I think, no, maybe I'm wrong. No, it's just one album. I thought there was a double, like 2 disc, like part of it on one disc, part of it on another disc, but it isn't. It's one single disc for those of you keeping track. It's got a booklet in it. So you got this cover, which is not bad. I don't mind that. It's a little bit psychedelic. Not too bad. And then you got a picture of them in the back here. A little bit blurred. Not really sure why they chose that. Then, of course, I'm going to try to pull this out without destroying it utterly, which looks like I might do anyways. Then you got a picture of the guys on the back here. All 6 of them on the album. It's got quite a thick booklet, too. So there's another picture of 5 guys here. So I don't know why there's 6 on the back and only 5 in the 2 pictures inside. You've got, looks like it says 6 plus 3 bonus tracks. So on this album, it's saying that it's Nick Turner, Dave Brock, Dave Anderson, Del Detmar, Terry Ullis, and Dick Mick. So it looks like Dick Mick isn't actually one of the musicians, and that's probably why they only show 5. So it's got some funny, quirky little kind of cartoony pictures in it, and other more ads of a nature. There it is again. Now, is this more kind of cartoonish stuff all the way through, actually? I don't want to take up too much time. That one's kind of different. Looks like an explosion of some kind. And yeah, a lot of notes in this one. So there's a bit of reading for those of you who love that reading part, which I do. Like to go through the book and read. You learn something about each of the albums that way. I like the cover of the album too, quite good. Or the inside cover, I should say. So there, I'm just going to stick that back in. I didn't break this one this time. And there you have it. Hawk wins in search of space. For a minute there, I thought this was a kind of a greatest hits type thing. I'm looking at this cover here now, and I'm thinking, please tell me that isn't a nude woman. Probably is, though. At any rate, we're going to move on to the next one. This one I've been waiting for a while. I wanted to purchase it right away, but I thought maybe the price might come down. It didn't. And then they were down to the last deluxe package left, and I definitely wanted the deluxe package because I think this version is better than the normal version because the extra 3 tracks are really good. We're talking about Judas Priest, Invincible Shield. This is, of course, the deluxe version. So let's see what else you get with this deluxe version as opposed just to the extra 3. I'm wondering if it's a 2-disc thing. That's what I'm wondering. Or did they just put the extra songs on 1 disc? They could do either of those things. It's easy enough to do, but I found that a lot of bands lately, Yes being one of them, the Uriah Heep album I have 2 separate albums for the extras. Or does the Uriah Heep have it? Actually, I can't. No, it's the Black Sabbath one that I bought, not the Uriah Heep. I apologize for that. So here you go. It's a booklet, almost like a novel type booklet. And the album is right here. Yeah, it looks like it's just the 1 disc. 1 disc. Kind of a red-purple look to it. Invincible Shield. A lot of that red-purple color on this album altogether. Then we got, of course, all the great pictures and stuff on the inside. Lots of color. This is a deeply metal color to it. And you got your list of guys on the album, which features Rob Halford, Glenn Tipton, Richie Faulkner, Ian Hill, and Scott Travis on this. As well as, I believe, it doesn't mention them, but I thought Andy Sneed actually played some stuff on here. Maybe he only plays on the live when they go touring. Yeah, maybe that's the case. But for some reason, I thought he was actually doing some stuff as well. So here's the opening track, Panic Attack. Yeah, I'm not going to go through every one of them, but that one most people will know. You got the Serpent and the King. Look at that. That snake is cool, man. There's a nice symbol, the nice symbol that you get on the front as well. Yeah, just really colorful, nice layout. Here's a good one. Lots of stuff in this book to look at. That looks great. Great. God is the Witness. Fantastic. Just absolutely spectacular art in this thing. Look at this. Ren Kylo on a bike. Look at those. Those are fantastic too. Judas Priest being one of my favorite bands now. They've gone from being around my 20th favorite band over the last 3 years to up to now. They've made it into the top 13 or so. To me, I'm ranking them a little bit ahead of AC/DC now. I never thought that would happen, but they have such good stuff. So that's it. That's Invincible Shield by Judas Priest. Now the final one is what they call it's a package, a box set, I guess. So it's Atomic Rooster Sleeping for the Years. I believe there are 4 discs in here, including all the studio recordings from 1970-74. We've got this Atomic Rooster on the cover here, and then a list of all the songs on the back. And now I'm going to unravel it. As you can see, when I brought it home, I accidentally ripped part of the cover. I do apologize for this. Look at that, it folds open. It's not a top thing, but then you have each. It's got this book here, which is pretty substantial. I would say about 10 or 15 pages worth of instrument material on each of the albums contained within. Pictures of them. This band to me is exceptionally underrated. Some really good stuff. I really enjoyed the first album I owned by them, which was In the Hearing Of. That's an absolute killer album. I'm looking forward to hearing the remaining. I believe all 4 of their original albums are here in this section. What else comes in here? So yeah, we've got, there's a box here, of course, as you see, with the booklet. And then there are all 4 of their first CDs, each one with, I would assume, yeah, each one with the original cover for the original album. This is the one that I own, which is In the Hearing Of. This is an absolute killer album with so much good stuff on it. And on this particular version, this is the disc number 3, of course, but it also has some additional stuff on here. Yeah, look at that, eh? So good. So the other, I'm not sure which of these albums. So we'll go with disc 1 first, which is, I guess, the original Atomic Rooster album, Sleeping for Years, recorded in February of 1970. So on this album you have the original 8 tracks, and then you have the studio recordings of 5 different tracks plus Tomorrow Night, single released. I believe this one doesn't say who's in the band, but that looks like Carl Palmer, one of the guys on there to me. So there's only 3 guys here. I'm assuming one of them is Carl Palmer. So that's the opening disc. The second disc, CD2, Atomic Rooster Sleeping for Years. Oh, actually, I think that's the title of the entire thing. Does this album... Let me go back and look here for a second. Sleeping for Years. Yeah. It doesn't say. Maybe somebody out there in music land knows. Was their original album called Sleeping for Years? I don't know. But this one also says Sleeping for Years, studio recordings from 1970, disc number 2. Maybe it was a 2-disc album. Anybody answer that one? This was also from 1970, released September of 1970, where the other one was released February of 1970. So it looks like it's 2 separate albums. Doesn't say what it was called, though. Maybe this is Death Walks Behind You. Yeah, this album is called Death Walks Behind You. It's kind of a weird cover, though. Very strange cover, but interesting at the same time. And this is a 3 album mix as well. It doesn't say who's on it, but I assume the booklet will tell me all that. Without looking through it, I would have to say it. So is this one also called Sleeping with Years, or is there another title for this as well? Taken from the album Atomic Rooster. So this was the debut album called Atomic Rooster. This is called Death Walks Behind You. And then the third album, of course, is this one, which is In the Hearing Of. I was drawing a blank there. I knew the album because I have it. And then the last one on this is was released in '73, taken from Nice and Greasy is the name of the album. This one again has all the songs, or each of these 4 discs has all the songs that were originally released, plus some bonus stuff, including tracks that they took that are live from other albums, A and B side singles that weren't released with the original album, but ended up only on the singles. This was released in September of '73, so for me, this was a good buy. I think I paid $55 and I got 4 albums from a band that I absolutely love. I was trying to think of how I could get the rest of them, and then I spotted this somewhere and I said, okay, even though I already have one, I gotta have this. This looks like a killer set. I know I'm gonna get a lot of use out of this. Well worth the $50 that I paid. I do like the cover. I like the whole box set thing too. It protects the albums because they're not in cases here. They're just in little envelopes. So that's it. I hope everybody enjoyed this episode of What's New. I know it was a little bit involved, maybe a little bit more. Maybe that's a little bit better too, because now you get to see everything and you're not just seeing an album cover. Who cares, right? Now I'm talking a little bit more about each of the albums. I'm looking forward to listening to all of this stuff that I got. I paid a bit of a price this month. I probably spent maybe $50 more than I normally spend, but you know, I'm not taking it with me at the end anyway. So hopefully you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please hit the like and subscribe. Any comments about any of the stuff I showed, if you have any information on it you think that might be pertinent to it, you can leave that in the comment section so that we all get the advantage of knowing what's going on. And of course, hit the notification bell, and we will see you at the end of July for another episode of album hauls, or what new albums I've got. And I will talk to you then. Take care and have a good one. Bye.